All right, the case of the Minnesota assassin. Let's check it out, man. I don't know what to really think.
Show just how much of a monster he really is.
Bro, on a high-speed chase already.
September 12th, 2021. This man, 38-year-old Antoine Suggs, assassinated 4 innocent people in the middle of the night. Our small team of investigative reporters has gathered the footage and case details about Antoine and how—
Bro, just murdering 4 people. Where did your life go at 38? Where you was like, oh, I'm gonna just take people out, bro. You know what I mean? Like, how far could you have gone left?
how all 4 murders came to be in order to present the whole story in its entirety for the first time ever. This all started very early in the morning, a few days prior on September 8th.
And this pre-COVID. This post-COVID, 2021, like, everything is awesome. Like, you out of the pandemic. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's
Antoine
crazy.
arrived in Minnesota via airplane from his home state of Arizona, and footage shows that nothing seems to be out of the ordinary.
Bro wasn't even from here.
Changes very soon. Antoine is picked up by an unknown person and leaves the airport with them. A few days later, on September 11th, late at night, Antoine revisits the airport in a new luxury Mercedes SUV. Later investigations report that
That's that Uber Black, man.
car was recently loaned to Antoine. It is unknown whether or not Antoine is connected to a larger organized crime group. While it's a logical hypothesis considering the value of this luxury car Antoine is now driving, we have yet to unfold the full story of this case, as it is only just heating up. We don't know why Antoine revisited the airport, but the surveillance footage gives us a glimpse at his passenger, who bears a striking resemblance to one of his future murder victims, Netosha Lee Flug Presley.
Nah, he took out his girlfriend. Y'all know, like, your partner is the most likely person to kill you, so you kind of gotta look side-eye at them every day, like, what are you thinking? You know what I mean? But that'll be wild. We're gonna see.
Indeed, Netosha. Then this was one of the last images showing her alive. According to
She sent a long message too.
Anonymous person, a witness said they saw Antoine and Netosha taking shots together at a bar just hours after he left the airport. Records also show that Netosha's aunt told investigators that Antoine and Netosha were romantically involved. Putting all this information together, it's becoming more and more likely that this passenger is indeed Netosha. After a night of drinking, it is believed that Antoine and Netosha went to a residence in St. Paul, where they spent time with 3 other people who would soon become Antoine's other 3 future murder victims. They were Lois Foreman III, Matthew Pettis, and Jasmine Sturm. Just hours later that same night, now the very early morning of September 12th, surveillance footage caught this altercation sometime around 3:30 a.m. in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Bro, how Antoine fly in and get a gun though? Can you fly with handguns? Somebody let me know. I don't know. I'm not a gun carrier. I live in Texas, but I ain't really a big gun guy. Is that something that people do, like bring their guns all over the world just for this type of situation? Or y'all let me know. I know you can't have a gun in New York. I know that's against the law, I think. I don't know about Minnesota. Did he double back?
In this footage, we hear gunshots and then that same Mercedes car speed through the streets. It is clear this is when the murders happened, but what Antoine does after this is quite shocking.
I'm already shocked.
On the same day around...
I'm already shocked because you come from your home state to go to Minnesota, out of all places, to go murder 3 people. What's going on in your life at 38? At 38, I want to be like pre-retired, like traveling and going across the world. I don't want to be killing nobody at 38, especially not for no Mercedes Benz. It lose value anyways. You know what I mean? Like
10 a.m. after driving around for many
some people live a different life than I live. Like I live like 9 to 5 worker, be like gonna work his whole life grinding, and some people live GTA fast money crazy life. I just want to know where we meet in the middle, or like if we went to school together. What made you go this way, and what made me do this? Like, what made me want to be a YouTuber, and you be like, fast money, murder assassiner. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of crazy.
Trying to figure out what to do with the dead bodies, Antoine decided that he needed help hiding the bodies. So he makes plans to meet up with his father, 56-year-old Darren Osborne, at a gas station during the day. Antoine
Well, I see what it was, man. His dad, he's following his footsteps. So I guess if your dad is a big beater upper of people, you can be a murderer. So
John's plan was to have his father follow him into western Wisconsin to a cornfield where they would find an inconspicuous place to dump the car with the bodies in it. Osborne later told officers that he had no idea at this point there were bodies in Antoine's car. On the way to
all right, take it back. I'm sorry to the dad because I made an assumption that he was a criminal. He wasn't. He didn't even know.
To meet with his father, Antoine stops at a different gas station than the one planned for the meetup spot. In this disturbing surveillance footage that shows this particular stop, you can even see one of the deceased victims in the passenger seat, limp and showing no signs of life. And while those bodies are in the car, Antoine is inside the gas station, paying for his gas just like it's another normal day. Antoine continued traveling to the meetup spot, moving from St. Paul, Minnesota to Dunn County, Wisconsin. This time, stopping at the originally planned gas station. We see him and his father convene at the gas station and they speak a bit before driving away. It is presumed Antoine had now moved the body out of the front passenger seat, considering his father would have clearly noticed a deceased human being sitting in the car. That is, if Antoine's father is telling the truth. Again, at this point, according to the father, he did not know what Antoine was up to. However, it is reported that Antoine allegedly confessed to his father soon after the meetup that
Bro, he snapped. How far right you gotta? Okay, so I don't really drink or do any drugs either. So like, maybe that all fall into it. Like, how far you gotta go to snap on somebody? Like, it's taking me a while to even like get mad or yell at somebody. So imagine getting past yelling at somebody, then going to, all right, I want to fight you. To, all right, bro, what's up? I'm gonna shoot you and murder all three of y'all. So you know what I mean? Like, I just can't imagine. I don't know what would get me to that point. Like, my life would have to be a danger for me to snap at somebody like that.
he had snapped and shot the victims. At this point, it's becoming more and more difficult for Antoine's father to deny his involvement with this situation. Antoine and his father allegedly went on to hide the car with the bodies in it in a cornfield further into Wisconsin. It is reported that a local anonymous farmer found the abandoned Mercedes in a cornfield in Dunn County, Wisconsin. He very quickly reported it to the police. At this time, no one knew of Antoine's or his father's involvement. However, we do have body cam footage that details some of the officers' experiences investigating the car in the cornfield with the deceased victims in it. What they find is extremely brutal.
That's where we're gonna go in right here.
They at the cornfield. And the thing is, bro, you leave this car in the cornfield. Somebody, the corn person, somebody gonna find this car and they're gonna start investigating. What was like? How was this your end plan? Like, even if you're gonna decide to be a criminal, you gotta be a better criminal than this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Watch some crime shows or something.
Yeah, we can do
something.
We did open the back door. If you need to open the back door.
Do we know if that one in the back on the far right is male or female?
Do you know? The one on the far back? The behind the driver?
I thought it was a female.
So they were stiff when you moved them?
Yes.
Somebody said?
I opened that door. I basically went like this, and it was just, you know, hard, stiff, rigor, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, the male, we didn't check anything on him. I thought there was like a hole. Looks like there might be blood pooling in his ear, or I thought maybe that was an entry or exit wound. I'm not sure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I ran out. Well, it looks like if the actual keys started not push button too. The keys, there's no keys in the ignition.
A bunch of blood on their shoe. See that?
Yeah, it's
Dang,
cool,
bro.
Yeah. Definite bullet wound to the right side of the face, right side of the ear on him, on the male.
These officers are taking careful note of entry and exit wound details for a very important reason. This detail alone is extremely helpful in determining if the murders were committed with intent or in self-defense.
I mean, that looks like an entrance wound right there.
It didn't look like an exit wound to me. I'm guessing she got shot in the body, though. Yeah, there's blood on her left arm and on her right, and it's old. Watch your right shoulder, man.
Yep.
Oh, what's in the pocket, Dan?
There? Dried blood. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's dripping in.
Shout out to people who can do this type of job, bro, because I know I would not be able to get in there and determine all of this stuff and just be like calm the next day. Hope they get the Minnesota, these police or wherever they're at. Hope they take like therapy and stuff serious, because this is, even me watching this right now, I'm thinking like this will take a mental toll if you're saying this all the time, or like if this is like you're in the crime unit and you work like victims, or like if you work like hard murders and stuff. That is like, I don't know, you gotta be a certain type of person to do that every day.
No, male, and shot wound to the head. Like, yep. There's the exit wound over here. See on the front seat?
Yeah.
Right below, right where the shoulder rest is, that white stuff, is that brain matter or skull particulates?
It's hard to say. Cause she wearing her seatbelt still?
No,
I couldn't tell if it was just behind her. Behind her.
Just probably so that it wouldn't beep. Because the weight's in there, so it'd beep.
I want to know where the gunshot wound is on this other gal. How do you
Okay.
have exit wounds?
Okay, let's get past this. I want to get some more of the story, bro.
Didn't she have is coming from the brain?
During later investigation,
All right, let's go back a little bit.
I guess we'll go talk to Kyle.
During later investigations, Antoine's Arizona ID card was found on the floor of.
Bro, he left his ID. Of course, you know, I guess you got to be dumb to murder 3 people and leave their bodies in a cornfield. One, but you know how dumb you got to be to leave your ID in there too. Like, what, brother? I don't feel sorry for him about whatever happens in this, like, to the end, like, be in jail for life or whatever he got, because he murdered 3 people. Like, life is one of the most important things. Like, you can't get another life, so taking 3 lives away is mind blowing. But you're just the dumbest person. Like, how dumb can you be?
Of the car, covered in blood. This pointed the officers directly to him and later his father as well, as more information was discovered after they reviewed the previously shown surveillance footage. Officers arrested Antoine's father first, and then charged Antoine with 4 counts of hiding a corpse. Antoine, now back in Arizona, turned himself in to the Arizona authorities. Antoine would now be brought back to St. Paul, Minnesota, the city where he committed the murders. This is where his dramatic legal trial would take place. Over the course of the next few days of Antoine's trial, he claimed, incredulously, that he acted in self-defense in the killing and transporting of the 4 victims, which the prosecutors stated that they find improbable. Antoine has had a lengthy history of breaking the law, including multiple instances of unlawful possession of a firearm, possession of marijuana in a vehicle, driving with a suspended license, and much more. Even though Antoine had never racked up any charges nearly as serious as murder, this made it quite clear that Antoine is no stranger to criminal activity. During the trial, Antoine never gave any reason other than self-defense. He said the 4 victims were attempting to rob him, claiming he was the victim in this situation. However, going back to what the police learned about the entry and exit wounds of the bullets in the bodies, it's obvious this is definitely not a case of self-defense. Even though no one believed Antoine's excuse, he still gave no other reason as to why he did this. So we may never know his true motive behind murdering the 4 innocent victims. The jurors, after 6 hours of deliberation, decided that Antoine was found guilty on all 4 counts of second-degree intentional murder and was sentenced to 103 years in prison. His father, Darren Osborne, was charged with 1 count of aiding an offender. After pleading guilty, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. These are the jury verdicts that show Antoine.
Imagine your son getting you 5 years in prison, bruh. Shout out to them for getting 103 years, but you know what I mean? I'm I don't know. It's hard to be on the side of a murderer for one, but 4 people, bro. 4 people. You got the gun. You couldn't have got if they're trying to rob you. You couldn't have pulled out your gun and ran away. Like, come on now. I don't know the main story, but I'm just going with you murdered 4 people. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. I would love to talk. But yeah, until next time, let's get out of here.